Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Danielle McFadden, president of the Greater Lowell Chamber of Commerce, and this Inside Lowell podcast is coming to you from the Wellpoint studios. Wellpoint, the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At Wellpoint, your whole health is their whole point. I'm very excited to have our guest with us today. We have Scott Hyder from Hidden Battles Foundation. How are you?
I'm busy. I'm good. Real good, but busy.
You are constantly busy. You have a little Junie bug down there.
I do have my service dog with me. So everybody hears the noise. Like, what was that? She's off camera. But yeah, no, it's funny because when you were reading it, there was, if anybody noticed, she got up and bumped into the table. So I was like, oh, God, we might have to do a take two. But no, we're professionals here.
We keep it real.
This, yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
No editing. Everybody can edit. It's just too raw. So
we got this.
Agreed. Trained professionals.
You have a radio show, so you.
I do. We've been doing
are
it for a while together.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm professional. Just because you do a job does not make you professional at it.
Oh, you're really knocking me down a couple of pegs right now, Scott.
No. I mean, it's fun to get our message out, and the way to get it out is to use many different platforms, right?
Absolutely. And you've been so smart about that since you started Hidden Battles. Let's talk about when you started it, why you started it, and just how you've grown. It's so impressive. It's like staggering to really, if you look back and think about it.
It's been so quick, and we did grow really fast. And I think we started at the right time. Everything fell in line for us. And it's not an easy subject, but we try to make it easy for people, and we make it inviting. So we do suicide prevention and mental health for veterans and first responders. We started in 2017. We were founded after the loss of my brother. When my brother took his life, my brother was a corrections officer. He retired, and he had taken his life to a lot of adolescent trauma, on the work trauma, and then there was some substance abuse. He was like drinking a lot, but then prescription drugs, and alcohol, and mental health. It's just a bad combination. So I lost my brother in 2012, and I never realized, I was a police officer at the time, and I never realized that I was masking my mental health by working a lot. And then in 2017, I was in a cruiser accident, and I had a neck injury, so I was out of work for a while. And that's when my mental health started sneaking up on me. So I started to take steps to improve my mental health. And what worked for me was not really traditional methods. Therapy was not a thing for me because I was worried about line of duty stuff. I was worried about being fit for duty as a police officer. So I started to do stuff and circled back to my military ways, because I was in the Army for 10 years. And I started to do what's called rucking, which is hiking with weighted backpacks, but it's a military term. And symbolically, you put all your stuff in your backpack and carry it with you on your mission. So I was really taking on my mental health, and I was carrying it around with me the whole time and not dealing with it. So this weight of mental health and trauma was just weighing me down. So I started to ruck, and I started to feel better. And I started to ask people to come with me. And eventually we formed this small community. And we started in Lowell. We formed this community where we had veterans and first responders coming out who were experiencing the same mental health issues I was, but still afraid because of the stigma of getting help, because you fear for your life, you fear for your job, you fear for what people are going to think about you. So from 2017 to 2025, that has changed so much, but there's still a stigma. So like I said, we started at the right time. 2017, pre-COVID, we started to develop this community in the Merrimack Valley of like-minded individuals who wanted to improve themselves, but doing activity-driven stuff is what we did. Fly fishing, couples programs. And we implemented couples programs because of the fact that my wife said we need to take care of the people that are taking care of these people behind the scenes.
She's a very wise woman.
Yes. Oh, my God. We wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for her right now. So then we decided to, like that proverbial pebble in the pond, our trauma creates ripples and waves of all the people we are exposed to daily. So we incorporated family programs. Then we started bringing caregivers for these people, for our veterans, because they're getting that secondary trauma. And now we're up to the point where we're doing roughly 100 events a year. We run
That is incredible, Scott.
I look hard. I'm 31 years old. No, I'm kidding. It is tiring. We do have a great staff, but there is such a great need for it, and we've come to the point where I don't want to leave anybody to where I was. At no time was I suicidal, but I was not my best human, I was tired a lot, depression, anxious, like short fuse, like a lot of it goes to it. And these are all byproducts of post-traumatic stress. Substance abuse is a huge factor. Homelessness, food, like
Oh, yeah.
everything can
So
be
many
brought back
components.
to mental health. So we use such a diverse an eclectic group of people to help us with programs. We do art therapy now. We're doing stand-up comedy classes. And that's the most fun thing ever. And I've taken it. So
here, go.
yeah. So, all right. So I do a skit about Junie,
Okay.
right? Junie's from the South and she's racist, believe it or not, right? She came from Georgia. And I can't lie. She does not like any other dogs who are her color. And she literally gives stink eye. So part of my comedy is I talk about that. I talk about, her having to deal with my emotional problems. And then people say, even to clinicians, they say, what do you do for your emotional? And so I say, well, Junie sees a support cat twice a week to talk about her problems and dealing with me. I talk about being in the military. But the comedy class, which we bring comedians in, or aspiring comedians to come in, and they sit down with local comedians who are well-established, who have traveled the country doing comedy. One of our comedy teachers was actually on cruise lines. He did the USO tour.
Wow.
We have another guy, his name's Mike Katrobas, who has Mic'd Up Productions, and he teaches a class. But it helps with anxiety, storytelling, public speaking, confidence building. But it also builds that smaller community of like-minded people who want to go out on the edge and try to tell their story in a comedic way. So we do that. We just kicked off a new program called Empower, and it's spelled EMPOW, capital H, capital E, capital R, for women by women. We like to do that and separate the men because of the fact that there is a huge military sexual trauma, stigma, and condition that's happened throughout the military. At one point, it was almost culture in the military to endure this as women. But there's a huge initiative where it is not acceptable. And it's never been acceptable. But now it's to the point where it's come forward where people are saying, no, no more. So we've created these programs. So it's a 6-week program where we bring women together and they're doing mindfulness stuff. They're doing yoga, meditation. They did a cooking class up at Tuscan Village. But it brings them together. And the real thing that we're doing here is not necessarily the events. It's the building of the community.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to introduce people who never would have met before to meet now under like-minded conditions, similar circumstances, past experiences. And that's what we're doing. And that's realistic. It's like the man behind the curtain is the event, bring them all together, get them together and create these lifelong support systems, and that's what Hidden Battles is. We're a community that does activity-driven therapy.
Well, thank you for all that you do. Your story itself, it's inspirational, and the lives that you're touching. I can't tell you. Every week I go somewhere and somebody mentions Hidden Battles or asks, do you know Scott and Leslie? I'm like, oh yeah, I know them.
And it's great that it's there. We're a resource for that because up to us, I don't remember anybody doing anything for. And keep in mind, when I say first responders, I'm talking about police, fire,
Absolutely.
EMS, paramedics. And I do trauma medical staff. So we're talking our nurses. Our nurses see the worst of the worst, and they don't get a break. They go on for their shifts, and ER nurses are seeing somebody right after each other, after each other, after each other. A lot of times understaffed, a lot of times overworked, especially in COVID, and we're still dealing with that, that post-COVID.
Absolutely.
So, and we take care of them, and I love that we're taking care of them because I don't know anybody else is taking care of them. And they should be taken care of.
You're so right. I mean, people work these jobs and then have to go home and act like everything's just
Exactly.
fine. And I can't imagine having to do that on a daily basis.
And you don't just take the uniform off and it's not etch a sketch. You don't all the things that you've endured during the case of the work. When you take everything off, you're like, okay, I'm fine now. No, it's not. Right. Some people do process it and they do it that way, but a lot of people don't. And what we try to do is give them the tools so that they can.
Yeah.
Or compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's that backpack and you keep throwing trauma in it, eventually it's going to break you.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we're trying to, deliver to everybody. We're trying to deliver, a better lifestyle for them. And in turn, it's going to produce a better lifestyle for everybody they encounter. Absolutely. Think about our first responders, like police officers, where you get a police officer who you get pulled over and he's, lack of a better words, he's a dick, right? We can say that, right?
Sure.
Okay. So you get this guy and then somebody's like, why is he so angry? Why? I didn't do anything, you know?
Yeah.
But we don't know what he just came from.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's carrying what he just came from or a compilation of all the things he's come from. And you're dealing with the not best police officer we can. But with our programs, whether it's equine therapy or we have a support group on Tuesday nights at the Y, or our radio show that we have that provides information. If we can help that guy to be a better person and have a clear head when he goes to work and to treat people with dignity and respect, you know, not that he's doing it on purpose, or they're doing it on purpose.
Yep.
It's a byproduct of the trauma that they're dealing with.
But also, a lot of the public isn't treating them with respect either. So that has changed a lot as well.
Yeah, the landscape has changed for it, even to the point now at some, like the fire department's getting it too. Could you imagine a day in your life that the fire department would have to wear bulletproof vests on some calls?
I mean, that's insane to think that.
Or you know, getting assaulted. Or
well, a lot of times they're the ones that are the first to show up when somebody calls 911. So they don't know what they're walking into either.
Yeah, and it's just the world's a strange place. I'll just leave it at that.
It is, and we need organizations like yours to help just make things a little better.
And decompress, help them decompress.
Yeah.
I mean, even I tell people all the time, they're like, when I see a veteran, should I say thank you for your service? I'm like, you can. I said, but it depends, like, generational. The Vietnam veterans, you should welcome them home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Veterans do like to hear thank you for your service. Some of them like, oh, again, you know? And I think when people go, oh, again, it's because I think that actions speak louder than words. You know, I tell people to smile at a veteran. Tell them great hat. Buy him a coffee.
Yeah.
You know, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like, my wife jokes around because she, like, her car's got a veteran plate on it because it's registered to me. But people will buy her coffee and she's like, that's, you know, then I'm like, but you put up with me.
Yeah. Hey, I think that's valid. Well, I'm smiling because my boyfriend is a police officer in Lowell and he's a Marine. He's like, I'm always a Marine. What's a Marine?
Oh, yeah.
But he'll always stop if there's an older gentleman with a hat on.
Yeah,
he'll stop
absolutely.
and thank him and talk to him about it. Like he always takes the time. He'll go sit with the person and talk to them.
Yeah.
So no matter where we are, that happens.
You want to thank that generation that inspired you to do what you do, you know?
Absolutely.
Because I mean, where I grew up in a veterans project in Boston. I grew up my father worked at the VA. So I always had respect for veterans. You know, and they were the ones who inspired me to join the Army because I listened to the stories. And I wasn't listening to war stories. I was listening to camaraderie stories.
Absolutely.
I was listening to, you know, experiences to go into other countries and helping people and stuff. And when I joined, I was in the humanitarian era of the military, you know, from the 90s to early 2000s, before the global war on terror and after Vietnam and the Gulf War. And, you know, so when I went in, I did a lot of fun stuff and helped improve the quality of life of people around the world.
Absolutely.
And that's why I joined. I joined that and to get out of the projects. But, you know, that's what I want to do. And when I get out of the military, I joined the police, be a police officer because I wanted to continue that. I wanted to serve my communities. Now it's, man, you got to thank people for keeping you safe.
Absolutely.
And I think people take it for granted now.
I totally agree.
You know?
I see it from a different set of eyes now.
Yes, yeah. And it's funny because we are definitely, we have our own subculture of, like, I call the local heroes, like our hero community, which, as I said before, the police and EMS and fire and stuff. We have our own culture of sitting back going, people just don't know how good, especially because you go to $1 million home and they have a lot of problems. You go to a low-income home, and they seem to have life figured out sometimes where you're like, I would never expect this here.
Yeah.
And when people don't understand that, you know, us going to $1 million home where a lot of problems are, it kind of throws us off because we're like, I would never expect that. You know, and until you, in life, experience things that you get out of your comfort zone. For example, last year, we went out and we handed out warm baskets. There were jackets and blankets and gift cards to Dunkin's and stuff like that. And we went around all the homeless camps. And to see the most diverse collection of people ethnically in homeless camps was eye-opening to me because I always thought it was who I see panhandling or whatever. I didn't realize it was families. Like, and I think it's one person, two person living by themselves. No, families with kids. And I'm like, until you get out of your comfort zone in life and realize that the world is bigger than you, you know, which that's what first responder world is. We deal with everybody. And 90% of the time, it's not at the best time in their life.
Yeah.
So that adds up trauma, and that's why we're here.
So you talked about all the different,
Mm.
you have even more programs, but you've touched upon many of your programs. You also need to raise money for these programs. Like
Yeah.
how are you getting the funding to do all of the incredible things that you're doing?
So we get a lot of donations. We do a good amount of fundraisers, but we recently just acquired a wonderful intern from UMass Lowell.
Great.
Christina is awesome.
Yeah.
Ted
Yeah.
Easy's.
We know her. Yeah.
So she has come in. So we've started to been successful with grant writing,
Yeah.
which is very
Great.
competitive, especially when we don't have paid. We don't have anybody paid on our staff, so we're 100% volunteer.
Which is unbelievable. I'm sure people are taking pause right now to say, okay, all that you talked about that you do, you volunteer your time.
Yeah.
And this is your life's work.
Yes.
I mean, you do this, you spend hours every single day on this.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, so I will honestly tell everybody that's paying attention right now, I haven't been home one night this week in 10 days. Between events, there's been a couple suicides in the law enforcement world, and we have actually had to go to some of the wakes, and I'm meeting with some of the officers and helping them with that. Fundraisers for other organizations that we partner with, the radio show, the group, PS program, and we're out all the time, and I'm out all the time, and I'm retired, but I don't take any money for Hidden Battles. And people say that, they're like, you don't get paid? I'm like, no, because when I get paid, I'm going to lose interest. No, I'm not. I will always love this, but I think there's a different...
If someone watching wants to be like, we want to pay you this amount every year.
If you want to fund it, perfect. But I'm not going to take any money that's going to take away from any of the programs.
That's incredible.
And that's just the way I look at it, because I'm 100% committed to this. Individual donors, we get a lot of individual donors, but we have a golf tournament that's successful. We have a casino night that's coming up.
Yes, we have to talk more about that.
Yes. So we have that, but grants, we sell merchandise. And there's, I will tell you, Danielle, when we first started, and it has not changed, I used to paint yoga studios to get free yoga for veterans. And I went to one place and installed Cat 5 cable in the ceiling to get a technical program for veteran. So I will barter stuff to get it, but it's to the point now I can't do that. I'm just way too busy. But, if people want to donate to us, they got to understand that 94% of every dollar that they donate goes into a program. I mean, we do have an office, and we have overhead, and we have subscriptions to Stripe and Spotify and Shopify, just the regular overhead stuff. We have an office that we have veterans come in daily, and they get on with our Wi-Fi, and they look for jobs, and they update their GovX, and so there's a lot of things that we do. It's like I said, there's a lot of services we provide, and I love it. I love that we are that community, and we are that go-to for Merrimack Valley and Southern New Hampshire.
It's incredible. And we mentioned Leslie already, but she, also volunteers her time. And then you have little Craigie, who's your 10-year-old, who's kind of the mascot and has grown up in this organization.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he started in my backpack.
Yeah, that's amazing.
When we first started. But, I mean, we do, we have an event coming up also, and not to take away from Casino Night, but on Veterans Day, we started this thing called Ruck for Change. And it's a play on words, because there's about 5 of us. We put 5-gallon buckets in our Army rucksacks, and we walk a route. This year, we're leaving from the new Veterans Park up on Douglas Road in Lowell. Great. We're going to walk down Andover Street. We're going to go past Lowell Memorial Auditorium up to Dutton, and we're going to walk up to Chelmsford Street, which is 110, and we're going to walk to the Elks in Chelmsford. But during the course of the route, we're going to be collecting car change. So
love it.
I know change is the thing of the past, but everybody has a cup holder with a car change, and we'll take that. But we also have signs, because we're a digital age, where people can actually QR scan and donate, or they can Venmo and stuff. And all that money gets accounted for. And that money is going to go towards our Empower program and Honor Flight. That's great. Which is another great organization that we partner with too. But then the casino night that we're going to hopefully raise a lot of money for, which is going to be on Lindsay's November 21st at 5:30 at night. You should be there. It's awesome. That money there is going to help us pay and fund all our programs for the year, because we have great programs, but not everybody's able to, like vendors aren't able to give us everything for free anymore. You know, it's just the way it is. So we actually have to pay for things. We have to pay for, you know, the art supplies for our couples classes. And like, you know, if we go and we have a cooking class, somebody has to pay for that, you know, and that's what this money goes for.
That's great.
And it's just, I wish there was a money tree. I would need a money forest, but you know, forests. Yeah.
But if somebody's also listening or watching and they are an artist or they're a chef or they have something that they could add, are you willing to have the conversation?
Yes, 100%. And if you have a small business or even a large business in Lowell or Merrimack Valley, and you want to partner with us, 100%. We've actually gone outside the thinking box because engagement is really a huge portion of this. And we've had people say, hey, you know, or for instance, Kevin Morrissey at the Y.
Yep.
We had partnered up with him a long time ago. And I had talked to him about, we did yoga with him and now we do our support group there and stuff. But we wanted to give back to him. And I said, well, you know, is there like a community project we can do for you or whatever? And he goes, I don't know. So funny, long story. Really short though. Where I grew up in Boston, they used to take the inner city kids and send them to Camp Massapog in Dunstable, which is now owned by Merrimack Valley, right? By Greater Lowell YMCA. So we went out there to look, and I literally had a little kid flashback because I remember visiting my brother there, which, if you weren't paying attention, is why we started Hidden Battles.
Right.
So I'm there, and I'm looking around, and I said, wow. We looked at one of the buildings, and it was the nurse's station. It was birds flying in and out of it. And I said, what is that? And he goes, that's our nurse's station. I'm like, yeah, we got to do something about that. So Kevin got the funding for all the material, and we provided all the volunteers.
I remember when that happened.
And that was great because it was a team building exercise, but it also, we had a bunch of veterans come home from deployment who didn't have jobs. And by working with some of the contractors, they got jobs.
That's incredible. I love that story.
And it was awesome. So if you have a small business that says, hey, you know what, I could use some help or whatever, or want to partner, we're 100% up for partnering.
That's great.
You know, even I've talked to some local girls groups, and I said, if you need mentorship, we have veterans and first responders, women that would love to mentor. So let's work on that. Let's cross-contaminate and pollinate each other and get them engaged.
And that's what's so great about this community too, that there's all these different organizations, businesses, nonprofits working together.
Yeah. And that's the only way it works.
Yeah.
Because there's not one spoke in a wheel.
Right.
There's many.
Yes.
And that's just the only way it's going to work.
Yes. So plug casino night one more time.
Yeah. So it is,
big one.
It is November 21st at Lindsay's, 5:30 at night. You can get tickets. You can go to our website. It's hiddenbattlesfoundation.org. You go right to the events tab, go down to casino, and there's a hyperlink there. We're going to be running a special. If you buy a ticket, you bring a veteran or first responder for free. So look out for that. But yeah, it is. It's going to be a great night of, we have a casino company coming out. They actually have real game boards. You can play roulette, I think Texas Hold'em, poker, blackjack, and I believe craps. So
awesome.
This great company comes out, and then it's at Lindsay's. So there's going to be great food, obviously.
Yep.
We have Crown Entertainment. Terry Morin's going to be, he's going to be there playing music all night. So it's going to be a great night. We have great partners that have made this all possible. I can plug them.
Absolutely.
So Plan Perfectly Wedding and Events, Bella Luxury Transportation, Swim at the Mission, one of our biggest partners, Jean Credit Union, our first and long-standing partner, the people that believed in us when nobody else did, other than Greater Lowell Community Foundation. Always got to give them the props because they were the ones that said, this sounds like a good idea, and guided us to where we are now. Even from the thought to when we got our own 501c3, Jay and everybody over there have been amazing to us. Still phenomenal. Great partners. Oh my God, love them.
Yeah.
We learned everything from them. Yeah. We actually helped them create a couple policies by not doing things right, but
hey, you're helping them now. They have more things to add to their book.
We literally have been faking it till we make it.
Yeah.
When we started this to now.
You can't tell. I mean, it's incredible.
I think because we were never handed a note, like a pamphlet or a handbook, I think we made up some stuff that was really successful.
I was going to say, sometimes that's better when you don't have that
model that you have to, like that structure, stay here. Like we were painting outside the lines the whole time. And we continue to do that. Yeah. We continue to experiment with different ideas and approaches to mental health. And we've had some ones that, it worked once, but but that's how you learn, And I think if everybody was to maintain the same model it wouldn't be as successful because you like to draw people. Like I said, we do so many different activities to draw somebody who wants to do fly fishing, but doesn't want to ruck. They don't want to hike. You know, a couple who's like, I don't want to cook, but I want to do couples painting.
Yeah.
You know, or when we do something with the Fisher Cats, like I want to go to baseball, and that's different, you know, different avenues for people to come out. And I think when you just pigeonhole yourself and say, all we're going to do is cooking, you're never going to reach those other people. So
totally agree. And you're doing a 50-50 as well.
So yeah, so we are doing a 50-50 right now. You can buy tickets. So it's minimum win is you're going to win $2,500. If we don't, no. So the listeners, it's $25 a chance. The jackpot is $2,500. So you are guaranteed to win $2,500. And we're going to draw that at casino night live in front of everybody. We're going to put everybody's name that's purchased tickets, and it's going to do the spinny.
Awesome.
And it's going to pick. We're only selling 200 tickets, and we're excited about it. So
Those are really good odds.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, you go to Venmo. You do Hidden Battles is the name. And when you pay the $25, you put 50-50 in the comment section.
Yep.
And that gets you entered into it.
Excellent.
But yeah, we're going to draw it live.
That's great.
I love drawing live because it's exciting and I know it's not faked.
Yes.
I know it's not fixed.
That's why we always do like the whale of names online.
Yeah,
and we like film it. And so if I do win, everyone's not going to say, we heard her say she was going to win on the show. Yeah.
Not saying you're going to win.
Yeah.
She's going to win. No,
sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have that. But those are the ways that we make our money to fund our programs. So.
We'll include when we post this to a link to donate. If you are somebody that knows a veteran or a first responder, take the time and initiative to make a donation to Hidden Battles. Veterans Day is coming up. Just as a thank you.
Absolutely.
Make a donation to Hidden Battles.
Even if you don't have the money to donate, tell a veteran or first responder we exist. Because that's what our biggest thing is a lot of people, we've been here since 2017, and I still meet people who said, I never knew you existed. But on the other hand, I walk into Market Basket and everybody's wearing our stuff.
That's great.
And I mean, it's great, but I think outreach is amazing, and we need for people to know that we exist. We need, because we're going to improve the lives of people who you may think may not need us, but guess what? They need a camaraderie. They need to have that brotherhood or sisterhood that they had in the military, because they're lacking that, and that will bring them back and make them a better person.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, we've had many conversations throughout the years, but I really sincerely mean this. I'm always amazed, and I always find out something new, and I just think what you're doing is such important, hard, fun,
rewarding.
To some,
it's
rewarding.
very rewarding. Yes.
Yeah. Fun to some extent, very rewarding.
You know what? It's a philosophy in the military. It's called aim small, miss small. And when we do a lot of our programs, we aim at just changing the life of one person. And after that, every other one is a bonus for us. Yeah. So if we literally could close the doors tomorrow and say we were very successful because we helped so-and-so, you know, and I love that. I love the fact that we don't go into something going, we need to get 100 people to do this.
Right.
Like, no. If we have our weekend rucks, which we every Sunday morning at the YMCA up in Nashua, we do Mines Falls. If it's me.
You do that every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how you sleep. Like, when do you sleep? I don't.
I don't, because I come up with these ideas in the middle of the night.
We were talking about that.
But if we have one person show up, that's a success.
Yeah.
You know, and if nobody shows up, it's okay, because now I'm out and I'm being better, and I'm not sitting on the couch eating bonbons.
Right. Oh, I feel like you're looking at me. I feel like I'm getting called out.
I only speak from experience because I was there. I was called out on my mental health by a friend of mine who is a fitness trainer down in Maryland for a professional NFL team. And he called me up and he blatantly said that I looked horrible and I needed to do something with myself. So when I say things and I joke around and I say something, I'm speaking religiously from me, from everything I've been through, because I've been through a lot. And I know that as much as your parents tell you, you are so unique and no one like you in the world, they lie to you, because there are so many just like us out there.
Yeah.
We just need to connect with each other and help each other out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's
I appreciate
amazing. And November 21st, casino night.
At Lindsay's.
Be there.
Yep. Thanks.
And thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Chamber Chat. We will be back again very soon.